Hello. Okay, let's see. Is everything working? Hi. I think it's fine. Let me just check on stream. Yeah, YouTube is on and working. Great stuff, and Twitch seems fine as well. Okay, great. Let's get into it, shall we? Let's see how this goes. Just want to monitor my sound because it's a little iffy sometimes, but okay. So I can show off, I guess, what I've done. So I believe the game is playable at this current moment. Let's do start, but there are a few bugs. So let me just go back and, well, let me just do a quick play, and then we can see what I need to fix quickly, and then we can go through that. Okay, so since last time, I've actually made the logistics system work, so we can now actually ship things around. We can build things, we can do all that stuff. So for instance, I can now build, I can do construction, I can build a logistics hub. Yes, the UI is ugly. It's really painful, but anyway. And you can see the logistics hub popped up there, and you can also see it here. And then I can also build an outpost. So now there's an outpost. Okay, now the next thing, so let's move over to Jupiter, but now I can also build some modules. So let's just build like a surface extraction module. Let's build 2. And the next thing is, and this is what I currently need to test, is my courier network. So if we go here, we click on this outpost. I forgot to build, okay. I forgot to build an extraction node. You need an extraction node to be able to place the modules. My bad. Let's try that again. Okay, so it's back. The Vulkan construction extraction. I click here. Okay, there is an extraction node added. Now I want Vulkan to be far away just so I can see the courier do its thing. Okay, wait a minute. You just do this. Put an announcement in. Okay. So, now, here's where the magic happens. If I want an extraction module on this outpost, you can see I can select here and I can click on the one I want. So let's say I want a surface extraction module. Now it creates a courier job, and you'll see it gives you a little tracking number, what's being sent, and then it tells me if a courier has been assigned, so a little bit of a status. And then technically there's a progress bar that should also do something. If I go back, you can see that's the courier. Right, so the courier is clearly moving. However, there's nothing happening here. So the extraction module itself, the courier job seems to be a little bit buggy. So it says courier has been assigned, but clearly the courier is actually on its way already. And now you see that the thing has actually been delivered, but the courier is still thinking it's being assigned for pickup. So there's clearly something up there. Okay, so we can, let's do, not construction, let's do another production. And let's produce, now I don't know if this is maybe my problem. Whatever, let's do advanced solar. Okay, so the next problem I have is that, okay, never mind, I was being stupid. Okay, so this extraction module won't work here because yeah, there's nothing to extract in this node. This is not a mining node. Damn it. Okay, but clearly we can already see there's something wrong with how that works. So power, we can also send a power. No courier assigned. I don't actually think this changes. Go back to power. Courier assigned for pickup. Let's see if I do this. Okay, so it doesn't refresh now. This is where it gets stuck. Okay, that's interesting. So the courier... Okay, that's actually correct in some ways. So the courier goes back, picks up the module, and then flies. Okay, maybe it actually... Oh, that's good. It gave me some amount of... Okay, that's interesting. So now the progress bar is actually progressing somewhat. Wow. Yo, Damon. How's it going, man? Okay, so this is working, but it's definitely not updating the way it should. And boom, we've got our power module. Okay, so we've got many problems. Okay, so the first thing, let's just try to fix this. Let's just try to fix the status of the courier tracking so that it actually shows the right text. And then if that works, we can try and fix this progress bar because it's kind of broken. I actually don't know if it's ever worked because I haven't actually used it before. I built it a while ago and I'm using it, but I don't remember if it worked even then. Okay, so we need to go through and see what is actually happening here. Okay, let's go to the node panel view first and see how we are updating the progress. Okay, it seems like I'm doing an update. Okay, so this is obviously a... Oh, that's interesting. So I'm just doing an update. First of all, I check if the view model is not equal to null. And then I just ask the elements to update itself. That is Very straightforward. I wonder why it's not updating. We go courier job.get status text, progress bar set progress. Okay, so I guess this is then where it's probably broken. Okay, so let's go here. The only thing that happens here is that we check for the tracking status. And so at some point it does that because it says courier assigned for pickup. It never does that. It also never does that. Okay. So I guess we just need to check where status is being set. Okay, so clearly we only set the status to those two things ever. Okay, that might be the problem. Wow. Okay, so we set the status to pick up. Send courier to pick up. Okay. And then at some point the courier picks up. Well, okay, so here, where we relocate the idle ship, that's fine. That's still just sending it for pickup. But here, load and send courier. Yeah, okay, so this is where... Oh, I set the courier state, but I don't change the state of the job. Oh. Oh, I don't set the tracking status. I see. Okay, so courier job tracking status deliver. Okay, so now it's being delivered and then receive courier delivery. So this is this one over here. So here I should do courier.job.set tracking status, and I do a done for what that's worth. Okay, so that's actually quite straightforward. Now the next thing would be the delivery progress. Okay, if we don't have a courier, it just returns 0. That's fine. But it should just ask the ship for the travel progress. And that's also pretty straightforward. It just check if the ship is traveling, then return the travel progress, which is remaining travel time minus divided by total time. 1 minus that. So that should work. The remaining travel time goes down, so at some point it's 0, which means we made it, so it's 100%. Okay, so that technically should work. Doesn't always. Definitely should. Okay, let's see. And then we call set progress, I assume. Yeah, progress bar set progress, but then somehow... So the width is equal to the length percent progress. Oh, okay. So maybe I need to do... This progress needs to be a percentage. Okay, let's do progress percentage, so I understand that that's what I need. Okay, then we could go here, and then essentially we need to do times 100 for that to be a percentage. Okay, let's try that again. See if that works out. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to build the outpost over there so that I can do some mining and stuff if that works. Okay, let's build the outpost. Let's fly over there. Okay, so now the outpost... no. Damn it. I forgot to do the extraction module again. Okay, so this is actually something that's kind of annoying. Let's just go write a to-do list thing here. Okay, so make it possible to redirect Vulcan. Okay, so specifically when moving, allow change of destination. Okay, it's something I thought I didn't want, but I kind of feel now that it's potentially useful to have that ability, because right there, you know, I clicked somewhere and I didn't really want to, but it started moving, so... Okay. So let's go back to construction, build an extraction node. Okay, so this outpost has power and extraction available. Fantastic. Let's move over to Jupiter so that we just have a bit of a longer travel time. Let's produce... Okay, we're going to do a surface extraction module. And good... let's just do an advanced solar so we have some power as well. Okay, and then we can go to the outpost and we can say... Get yourself an advanced solar module. Okay, so it says no courier assigned, but there clearly was a courier assigned. Okay, now the percentage, this thing is... I wonder why it's not updating though. Okay, so the length is correct, but the number it's presenting is wrong. Okay, so it's filling up correctly. Item is on its way. Okay, so that also works now. Okay, and then it also doesn't update anything here when... Okay. Yeah, so if I just click there and I watch it, nothing changes. So there's definitely something wrong with my updating. What? Null reference exception error? Oh, the tracking status to done doesn't work. Okay. Oh, it's because I... Okay. The job is set to null. I cancel out the job. I can't change the tracking status if I did that. Okay, let's just do that. Stop it there. Okay. Okay, so somehow it's not updating. That's so weird because element.update progress, if we look at the element itself, right? It should change the text, right? Yeah, also this is not correct. I should actually just multiply by 100 here. That would change the length correctly, but keep the text correct as well. Yeah, nothing is null or anything. Like, that's not the problem. Yeah, what's weird is the... Oh, I'm just a dumbass. Okay, cool. Ah, geez. Okay, so this is the problem. Every time I add the element, I obviously set the data, and I add it to the module holder, but I don't actually add the element to my courier job elements, right? Yeah, look at this. This thing is never... I clear it when I clear my view, but I never add it, so this loop doesn't do anything. Ah, for G's. For G's! That's what I needed to do. That's the only way I'm going to access it there to update it. Okay. Damn. That's pretty dumb. Okay, now I have full faith this is going to work correctly. Let's try that again. And then we can tackle the next problem. Okay, so we build a logistics hub. We go there to build an extraction outpost. Okay, build the outpost, add the extraction thingy, move over to Jupiter. No, we don't want to process, we want to produce. So we do surface extraction module, and we do advanced solar module. Come over here. Okay, you should be over there. But anyway, we click on power. There's nothing available. Extraction. Hey, we got an extraction module. There we go. Okay, so now it's looking like it's doing something. We got a little updating progress bar. Very nice. And the moment it arrives, career job complete. Okay, but it didn't update this view, unfortunately. Okay, so we need to update this view now, but if I go back, it will show. Okay. Power, we can also order the advanced power. Oh, geez. Why are both of these... okay. Oh, I know why. Okay, we'll fix that now. Okay, so we've gotten closer. Okay, so now one of the problems is when the courier job elements, when they are completed, the element needs to actually be removed. So there should be something like a remove courier job element. Now, okay, this is always one of those things that's kind of annoying. Because I can think of a way to do it, but I can also think about the ways it's going to fail. So the one way I would try to do this, since I have a reference to the courier job, I should be able to see if the courier job has been completed. Right, so somewhere in the courier, we would receive a module shipment, so that's good. Right, so we receive a courier delivery, we change the tracking status. We actually remove the job from the courier itself, but the job is still referenced in the UI, and the element itself also exists. Okay, so this is essentially where we need to do something. So either, yeah, but this is on the simulation side. Now, I don't think we need to do anything here, because we can just check the job tracking status. So this is just really a thing that the UI needs to sort out as well. So the UI needs to remove it once we get there. Now, okay, one thing we could do. Let's go and check where this adding is happening. Okay, we do it over here. Okay, that's fine. And then we do existing. Ooh, that also seems like it could be a bug. Unless I removed it. Yeah, okay, I clear the module holder. I should do the same thing with my... Oh, okay, no, it's... Okay, never mind. It's in the module holder, and I do clear it, so that actually works out. Okay. Okay, then we don't have a problem there. So the inbound courier jobs should obviously, so we add it when we add a job. Don't know why I did this. Must have been some idea that I had that I don't have anymore. So let's just get rid of that. Okay, so technically if we receive a module shipment, we should be able to cancel the courier job. So I'm wondering now if courier delivery, if this shouldn't actually be receive it's got to be a module pretty much always, but we also need to tell the, yeah, I think I'm gonna change this. So let's change this to receive courier shipment, and then I'm gonna call this courier job instead. Right. Okay, and then here we're gonna go job.item as module. Okay, so that's what we'll do there, and then we also do inbound courier jobs dot remove job. Okay, so that's one of the things we do. Okay, who listens to this? I think it's the it should be the view model, right? Okay, this is just to add courier jobs. Might want to remove courier jobs as well. Okay, we'll think about that now. Okay. So this at least removes it from inbound couriers, which means I won't be re-adding the UI element every time I open up the UI. So that's good. Now, yeah, okay. So we should potentially have another event for removing a courier job, potentially. Another way we could do it is when you go through this, we need to remove the element, and we could just check the status of the job in order to remove the element. Yeah, what we could do is we could just add a list here of courier job element. Completed jobs. Okay, just something like that. And then we can do it in our progress, and then we can just ask if element dot courier. Okay, wait a minute. Is the courier job not available to the element? It should be. Oh, it's private. Public bool is done. Return courier job dot tracking status equals done. Okay, if the tracking status is done, okay, we can have if is done is dome. Nice. Is done. Okay, so if it is done, then we can go add the job to completed elements. Okay. And then we can do for each completed jobs, we can do courier job elements dot remove element, right? Because it's not the same collection, this should be fine. And then at the end, we do completed jobs clear. Not that that's even necessary, because when we break out of this, we create a new completed jobs every time. So it's going to go away on its own eventually. Okay, well, that's okay. Okay, I think now the job should go away then on an update if it is completed, and it should also not recreate because it's removed from the node inbound courier jobs. Right. Yeah, and then since it's removed, it won't also continuously update a job that doesn't exist anymore. Okay, let's give it a go. What? Coffee is gone. Ridiculous. Okay, so we can go over here. I should change the speed of this thing or something. Yeah, anyway, we build a logistics hub first because we need it to service the outposts. We build the outpost, make it an extraction module. Okay, let's head over to Jupiter. And we do some production. So we want our surface extraction module and our advanced solar, because why not? Okay, we want to click on you. We go, okay, power. Okay, that's another thing. Okay, extraction, surface extraction. Great stuff, it's on its way. Now, track and cancel don't work yet, but I think that's okay for now. I mean, that's good. And we can see it's coming. And we can also request a power module. Items on its way. Items on its way. And now, as soon as it arrives... I know what the problem is. Oh, Okay, that's interesting. Oh no, I still know what the problem is. Never mind. I didn't close the node. If I close the node entirely, it's still there. Yeah, no, actually, I did close the node. Okay. But I do know what that problem is. So just removing it from my list like this will cause it to stop updating. But what I also need to do is I need to go to the module holder. Well, actually, I could do element dot remove from hierarchy, right? As well. That will remove it. Yeah. I believe that's correct. However, when I close the node panel view and I reopen it, what? Clear. Surely I don't actually have an error somewhere. Okay, so here's my other thing. When I close the panel, the panel view at least, I definitely do module holder clear. And that is where the courier job is added. Right? Add courier job. So it's node.inbound courier jobs that gets added. Okay. Where else do I add a courier job? Okay, when there's the... Okay. But I'm pretty sure that the node itself removed that job when the courier shipment was received. Okay, but now that I think about it, I do need something to happen here. So I'm actually gonna do this public event action on courier on courier shipment received, and I'm gonna go on courier shipment received. And I'm gonna tell my panel view model to also do something about that, and we need to do that as well. Okay, so when we receive a courier, essentially what I want to do then it's basically these two things, right? Well, no, I want to initialize the module elements. Because there would have been an update to the module elements. So if I initialize the module elements, it'll go through this and re-add them. Okay, it might also add some more module elements, I guess. Yeah, how do I add module elements then? This is the only place I add them. You do that every time we create a new panel. Okay. That's probably not going to work correctly. Okay, so we create a new module view model. We add it there. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I have a feeling this won't actually work correct. But it has been working correctly, so I'm not sure. Why I think it won't work now. Let's test it, because I really do think... Okay, this is weird. Why? Why do you think there's a problem there in the logistics node? Oh! I'm not looking at the... Oh, jeez, okay. Yeah, okay, so this needs to do courier. Good job. Why was it able to play? Okay, that might also be some of my problem. I had that error, I didn't even notice. Okay. No. Okay, whatever. Let's just go over to Mars and produce a few modules. I actually want a solo. Ah, okay, never mind, I was being stupid. Let's go back. I forgot to add the extraction module, like I do. Okay. Oh, it tried doing this, but I wasn't. Right, okay. I wasn't in a sub-region. Okay. Oh my word. Please. Okay, that worked nicely. This thing wasn't updated. Wait, surely I didn't make another extraction module. No, advanced solar. Okay, so there was another problem. Okay, let's do advanced solar. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, that's interesting. The courier was sent. Okay, I think what happened there is the courier flew back, picked up the module, and then delivered it. Okay, so that's a little bit of an error in the logic. That's probably because I don't check for 0 when I rank the couriers. You can get, if you have a courier at home, like if there's a courier at Vulcan, it will send that courier. But I think when I evaluate couriers, I check for distance, and this one is the closest non-zero distance. I don't check for 0 distance, so I should check for that as well. Okay, so now we've got power here. This button doesn't work anymore. Okay, I also hate that that happens. And we've got extraction technically, but it doesn't work, so that's my next problem. These modules don't do anything. Even though we clearly have surface extraction, we are at the moon, we have fuel available in the logistics hub, so there should be extraction possible. But clearly this is not doing anything. Okay, so yeah, that's a problem. Let's do something like, let's produce 3 more surface extraction modules quickly. And I want to try something. Okay, yeah, there we had the problem where we... Oh, jeez. Ah, okay, yes, this is exactly what I thought was going to happen. It adds the modules multiple times. Okay. I had an inkling that that was going to happen. Okay. So that's with this, where we add existing modules, but before you can add existing modules, you need to make sure the module doesn't already exist or something like that. So this is basically what we're doing, right? We're initializing existing modules and we're going through every single module and adding it, right? So that maybe isn't then the thing I should do every time we receive a courier shipment. Like if this panel view model is open and we receive a courier element, we should just kind of do this, right? Something like that. But then the courier shipment obviously doesn't know about a module or anything like that, so we need to give it a module at least. Okay, so when we invoke this, we need to tell it about the module that we just received. Okay, and then the node panel view, No, the view model. You're going to get a module. Module. Okay. So I like that more. So now we receive a module and we just add the module. Initialize existing modules is when we open or create a new panel view model. Okay. So we just do that, and that should, in the node panel view, now just call this thing once. Because the module exists now at the node, so we add it. So we add a new view model, we add it to the module holder, all that good stuff. Okay. Okay, then this update module selector is also not correct. Okay, courier network.on global item storage changed updates the module selector. I don't think that's correct. I think it should do selected data instead. Yeah, we just update the module list with the available modules from the view model. Yeah, I think that's better. And then this update module selector only happens when we've actually removed it from the hierarchy. Right, so that's this one, or when we initialize. Okay, so when we initialize, obviously it also means might have been removed before. Yeah, because the module selector holder was cleared. Okay, yeah, that works out. I thought that was a problem. Okay, now let's check some of the courier behavior. Because the courier should be able to courier network. Okay, so somewhere here we do a assign couriers to job. So we get all the idle couriers. Okay, we get the shortest distance, which is origin, la-di-da-di-da-di. So let's say technically we get a shortest distance of 0, right? And then we go through all the idle couriers. We calculate a new distance. You see this if distance is less than or equal to shortest distance, or just less than shortest distance. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense, because if you think about it, why wouldn't it just select the courier? Because I have like 5 couriers, right? It should select one with a distance of 0. Oh, wait a minute. No, yeah, no, it does. Hub distance. Okay, so this is the origin. That is the item origin. That is where the item is going to come from, not the destination. Yeah, so I mean, the item is clearly... When the item is on Vulcan and the ship is on Vulcan, these two should be the same. Unless the current... you know what? I don't think the current AU of the ship gets updated when it flies around like that inside a Vulcan. Let's see how I do that here with my logistics. Okay, best shipment. Yeah, we do the score thing. Okay, where do I create these shipments though? Oh, okay, I add range. Okay. From each supplier, which is a logistics node. Oh yeah, so this is a little different because I check only the ships that are at the node. Available freighters. This is the idle ships that are at the node. So I don't check for all. Okay, so that's different. Okay, so what I should then do for the courier network is I should either be updating the current AU of the ship, or I should get the current hub and ask the hub, where are you at? Because, look, as soon as we start traveling, it does set the starting AU is set to the current hub, and the current AU is then the starting AU. So that does happen. So we should actually just get the hub distance instead. Yeah. Yeah, so we should do like current hub dot structure dot oh jeez. Yeah, something like this. Okay, so now the current hub for the ship will work in getting the current AU distance. Right, and that is the same thing we do with the ship, right? Okay, I go... I think I forgot that the structure just has a function. Get structure AU distance, which is current region dot. Yeah, that's probably what I did there. Right, that is equivalent. Maybe even better. Doesn't really matter, but anyway. Yeah, like here, I do the same thing. Oh, geez, I did that like everywhere. Yeah, what's the point of writing a function if you're not going to use it, right? Or method. If everything's public, you can just access it anyway. Okay. Okay, so this should work a little bit better. Okay. Let's see. Node panel view. Has a problem. I guess that's an old problem. Because I seem to have fixed it. Okay, let's go over to Mars. Do some production of surface modules and the advanced power. Okay, so while this is producing, if I go to extraction, I click on this thing. So it should update now with the new modules. Okay, so that works again. That's great. And if I add one now, okay, cool. Sends it over. Boom, there we go. If I do 2 more, for instance. Okay, the courier gets sent immediately. Oh no. That wasn't actually the case. Going to pick up. That's a little annoying. Not gonna lie. Doesn't make any sense though. Assign couriers to job, idle couriers. So let's see, maybe I don't get all of them. No, I do, definitely. I do. No, that part is fine. And I just go and I get the best courier. So it's the first idle courier that I can get, which I get from all couriers. That's just initially. And the shortest distance would be the origin hub distance for the job. I don't think I cock up that somehow, do I? Okay, courier job queue. Let's just see. So we create a... Now we do a similar thing with the best node here. Okay, I just tried to get the best node in terms of checking if it's close by. Yeah, so the item, essentially, I want to grab the item from the closest place. So that's fine. Okay, yeah, that's also not a problem. So we get the requester minus the best node distance. Okay, then we go through, so we get the best node. And this is fine, because this is where we're going to pick up, right? Best node is... It is simply going to be our origin. The reason I do this is because we might have this exact module at different places. So we want to check where is the closest place, right? So that's essentially what I'm doing there. Okay, destination, requester, all that stuff. Okay, so the job, as far as I can tell, is being created correctly. Yeah, we're setting these correctly. And I mean, if you're doing absolute value, which I am, the best courier it doesn't really matter which one it's going to be. It shouldn't be the first courier. We go through all the other couriers and we simply say, if the distance, the new distance here, oh geez, I'm a dumbass. I found the bug, guys. I was only querying the best courier. The new distance should be calculated with the with the actual courier, not the best courier. Because then this distance remains the same as the shortest distance all the time. So it's never less. And then this never gets changed. Okay, so that's a small bug. But now this should work better. And I think that was the last kink that I needed to iron out for this courier thing to now work properly. Okay, let's just build the outpost right where we are. Okay, production. Let's do a couple of surface extraction modules, and while we do that, we'll move Vulcan over to Mars. I want there to be two. Okay, so let's choose one. Okay, it's coming. Delivered. Okay, so there's a courier here at this outpost, and there's a courier. There's a few at Vulcan. So if I select another one, it should come straight from Vulcan, and it does. And I do another one straight from Vulcan. Okay, perfect. Okay, I think that was the last bit of weirdness that I was experiencing with the couriers. Okay, now, this is now the next part. How do I get these outposts to actually work? Somehow the outposts aren't working. I don't know if they're not being updated. That could be the case, actually. So let's start there. Let's check if they are updating. Well, maybe let's go to our to-do list. Courier network. Mostly works. I have a delivery, waiting delivery with an ETA. Relocation logic work. Idle, implement courier pickup delivery, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so I would say the courier delivery system works. Oh geez, what did I just do? Okay, now I'm gonna try and fix the outpost. Now I think the outpost just isn't updating. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, I should be going to the presentation manager. Okay, so let's see. So when it updates, it goes through all the updatables and it just updates. And Vulkan is already set there. Simulation, the logistic network is put in there. So updatables. Yeah, that's exactly the problem. So you can see I add Vulkan to updatables. Okay, but I don't actually add anything else. Right, so what I should do is do something like public void add update arbol. Something like that should happen. Okay, now very importantly, the presentation manager doesn't connect to anything inside the simulation, so we need to be careful here. Now, as far as I remember, structures are updatables, right? Updatable. That's exactly. Okay, what else is an updatable? Who inherits this? Okay, so it's a. And that's just the list. This old thing. Okay, so structures are updatables. And then this old node that I think I can just delete now. Yeah, now all of this stuff is no longer working. I'm just going to get rid of it. Okay, so other than that, it's only structures. So whenever the structure is built, we need to add it to the list. Okay, I know where construction is built. It's built in the construction node. Try build structure. Okay, finish structure. Yeah, so right here, we build a hub or an outpost. Okay. Yeah, the thing is we can't we can register from the presentation manager to an event inside the construction node. That is possible. Yeah, so we'll effectively have to go into Vulkan, get the construction node, and then get assigned to it somehow. Something like Vulkan.nodes. Yeah, okay, this is going to be more difficult than that. It's going to be basically a for each node in Vulkan.nodes. All right, I'm gonna have to go through the nodes essentially, and we're gonna go if node.get type. Get type is equal to type of construction node. If we find the construction node, then we want to do something. So this is, let's see, do I have on structure complete and I give the structure? Yes. So right here we want to do we want to do it here. Another place you could do it, I suppose, is in the UI. Nah, that would not make sense. You could do it in the view model, but the view model might not exist at that point, so it doesn't make a difference. Yeah. Okay, so node.on. Okay, construction node on structure complete. Oh. Hello? Geez, like it. What the hell was that? Okay. On structure complete, so now we can just do add updatable. Okay, as updatable. Okay, that doesn't work. Oh, okay. You know what, let's just get rid of this whole function, because what's the point? And we'll just do here updatables.add, and that's essentially all we need to do. Now that structure will be able to update every time we create a new structure. Okay, so let's do this proper. Let's go there and try to mine. Yeah. Okay, construction, logistics hub. Logistics hubs can update actually, so that's fine. Okay, let's fly Volk. Oh wait, did I add the extraction? No, yes I did. Okay. Okay, Vulcan, you can come over here. Oops. Ah, my word. Okay, come over here, Vulcan. Thank you. That's so annoying. I need to fix that. This Vulcan. Oh, geez. Okay. Very buggy, as we can see. Okay, so we want to produce an advanced solar module and then a few surface extraction modules as well. Come over here, click on this thing. So, I want to try a few things actually. I need to change that as well, but anyway. First of all, I want to add the extraction module without adding power. Because this shouldn't work, right? If everything works the way I think it does, it should get this thing and not actually do anything with it. What is this? Add node button. Okay, who knows? Okay, it's working. This button doesn't work anymore, or at all. Okay, so it's there, but I can't do anything with it. So let's get the power. And what I'm expecting to see is as soon as the power arrives, things should kick into gear, right? Things should just start working. I hope at least that's what's happening. Right? It should. I shouldn't have gone to Jupiter though. It's taking forever. Oh. We are producing 20 power. I actually forgot I did that. Now we're producing nothing. 20. Okay. Extraction. Are you doing anything? This button is a little weird. Because I obviously deactivated it somehow, but... Ah! What's going on? Okay, let's check out Vulcan quickly. Crying out loud. So Vulcan has an extraction module as well. And the button also doesn't work. It's a very particular position I need to click it in. Guy, I don't think I'm producing enough power. I think that's potentially the problem. I don't have a way to check currently how much power I'm producing directly. But we could go to the structure quickly and just check. So every structure would do. Okay, so it does this. It resets the power grid. It gets. Oh, yes, like it. Okay. It gets all the production available, so all the power modules. It collects the power intent of all the yeah, okay, for the power modules, yeah, that's fine. Then this is the problem, the add fixed power consumer. Definition.power draw. So this is the first place that things are gonna break. And the reason is because these things aren't really balanced yet. So if we go to fixed power consumer for an outpost, right? So let's go check our scriptable objects. Structures, outpost. Yeah, you can see the outpost draws 50 megawatts of power, essentially. And our advanced solar, so if we go to modules, I guess, power, yes. So the solar array only, oh, I need the behavior actually, not that one. So behavior, advanced solar produces 20, solar array only produces 10. So that's horrible. How big are these modules? Size 1. How many can I actually install in a power node? I have no idea. So a node starts with a size 8. Okay, so I could add like 8 of these, which is 80 megawatts. And that's just enough to get it started. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'll update all of this later, but for now, let's just take the solar array and give it like 250. No, that's the wrong place. Let's just make it give me like 250 power. Right, and now just installing a solar array should make it functional. Okay, let's go over there. Get the logistics hub in here. Get the outpost in here. For crying out loud. Okay, we can do some not processing, production, and we can produce a solar array, and then we can also produce surface extraction modules. Why not get a bunch of those? Okay, and the other thing you have to do is build an extraction node. Okay, so now we can get our solar, and that happened instantly because the solar is, well, we are in the same place, right? So that just works. Extraction, we can build extraction. We got it. Hey, it's mining. Look at that. So now also, if we click on the logistics hub, you can see the logistics hub itself is gaining resources. Okay, we're not seeing the resource gather rate. But if we click on the outpost, we see the resource gather rate. Okay, that's just UI that I need to fix. Okay, so I think the idea there was we could either make it so that clicking on an outpost shows you the resources rates, but since the outpost itself doesn't store the resources, we don't actually show the resource storage. And then when you click on the logistics hub, it doesn't produce resources. So we show the storage, but maybe we should show resource production of the entire region. I could do that. It's going to be a little bit more complicated, but it's not impossible, I guess. Okay, but this is working. And I can actually get a few more extraction modules shipped in here. Boom. Now we're extracting at an alarming rate. And my activation button's still a little bit weird. Well, no, it seems like it's doing it. Okay. Yeah, I don't like the delay though. I'll have to fix that. Okay. Something happening with the game input. Not sure. Oh! That man Robin and the real British teacup. How's it going, guys? Sorry, man. I had some other thing open here on my screen. I didn't see the chat. Who am I talking to? I'm talking to myself mostly. And you now, I guess. Yeah, hey. It's become a little bit of a habit speaking to myself now. So even if there's no stream active, no camera, no microphone, I still sit here talking to myself about things. It's just how I think now. Okay. You know what I want to do, actually? I think I want to add a freighter that can, a tanker rather, so a specific type of freighter that can move fuel around, and then I can actually get the logistics to kind of work. Oh geez, you don't have any music on. Oh wait, my VODs. I don't think they have music. Actually don't know. Maybe they do. Who knows? Yeah, but I mean if you only speak when spoken to, it can get very quiet, eh? Okay. Let's add a new kind of ship. So we open up our good old game data spreadsheet. And essentially we just want to add, let's call it a light tanker. Okay, build time 10 doesn't really matter. Upkeep 10 doesn't really matter. Fuel use. Okay, so this is an interesting one. Tankers are specifically going to be for transporting fuel. You haven't streamed in a few weeks. Ah, man. I know that feeling. I started streaming again a month ago, then I stopped for a month. Now I'm back again. See how long this time I can hold out. Life gets busy, hey. Completely understand it. Things are hard out there. Okay, fuel use, I don't know, let's just make it use. Now, the important thing here is it should be kind of efficient. So if it uses like 100, let's say 50 fuel, it should at least be able to... Okay, no, it weighs 50 as well. And it should at least be able to transport more fuel than that. Yeah. Muddy hasn't streamed in like 3 months. It's a thing, eh? Ach, but we try. When you can, you get a stream in. If you can't, I mean... Okay, so we get a new freighter type. Now we just need to take the tanker and add it to this list as well. Now, if a tanker transports, and this is very important, fuel, and it uses 50 fuel for a transportation run, we should have it at least transport, I don't know, 200 fuel units at least, right? Otherwise, it's going to be pretty sad. If I don't actually have some surplus fuel. Yeah, I don't actually know if this is going to work well, but anyway, let's see. Oh, that's interesting. You could just do that. You just go get a job, make up some money, and then come back. What kind of work do you do in that situation? That doesn't seem... Well, it's definitely not something I can do in the same way. Okay, this thing could... Yeah, okay, so a tanker can ship volatile matter, and chemicals, and propellants. 200 of it. And it ships using 50 fuel. It should be fine. It's a 1-to-4 ratio, so we burn 50 fuel, but we ship. So the main thing is we'll fill up when we ship, and when we get to that destination, we're gonna have to fill up again. So we take a quarter of the fuel that we just shipped for ourselves. Yeah, okay. Light tankers are terrible. You know what? Let's add a medium tanker. Medium tanker. Its fuel use will be double. The whole mass will be double, I guess. It should be more expensive as well. You install signage. Oh, okay. Is that like your own business that you have on the side? Because how can you just do a job when you need to do a job? I don't know how things work where you're from, but that's not how things work in South Africa. Okay, you're a contractor. Okay, I see. Okay, so let's say we need like at least double that. Yeah, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna do this very straightforward. It just needs double of everything. Fine. Okay, so if we use 100 fuel, so let's see. So we shouldn't have a quarter of the fuel. This is important. I think there should be like 1,000. So it's significantly better to use a larger tanker. Okay, so we've got 2 new ship types then. Okay, so what I should do now is export these CSV files. File save as. CSV. Hello? Where's CSV? Okay, there we go. Okay, so this is ships. So we just save that one. We override the old ships. Okay. Then freighter, we should also save this one. Save as. And this is going to be freighter. Save. Override the old one. Okay. Close. I just saved that, so I don't know why it's asking me that. So freighter, there should be now medium tanker as well. And okay. So technically, I should just be able to go utilities, generate ship SOs. That should be all I need to do. Well, let's click it and see. Not very convinced. Light tanker, medium tanker added. Amount of freighters 3. Amount of ships 4. Perfect. I did a thing. Fantastic. I shouldn't doubt my past work so much, but damn. I just do sometimes. So if we go look at our scriptable objects, ships, we should now have a light tanker and a medium tanker. And we should have the correct behaviors for them. Yes, everything is flippin' working. Fantastic. Okay, now what we just need to do, because we can't build ships yet, so I need to add the ships manually. Or somewhat manually at least. So here we do add starting ships. Yeah, so this is where I add the light freighter and I add the courier as well. So all I need to do here is maybe duplicate these two. And I need to add the light tanker and the medium tanker. And I need to decide how many. So light tankers, I don't know, 10 and maybe like 5 medium tankers. Okay, that should work now. So now we should have... Oh no, wait, it shouldn't work because we still need... So, in my game assets, I need to add these freighters. So we need to do a light tanker and the medium tanker. Now everything is added to the game the way it should be. Play. And I think this is gonna be now playable. I mean, the UI is still horrible and things like that, but technically with everything in the game now, you should be able to do some things. So we can come over here. Build the logistics hub, build the outpost, make this an extraction module, and let's make it processing as well. Okay, then we should be able to move over to Jupiter. Yeah, because I need a place for fuel and Jupiter. Nah, actually, will I be able to? Okay, well, let's see. Can I build an outpost there? That's really the idea. If I can build it around Jupiter, I should be able to... What? Why can't I build a logistics hub? I probably don't have enough resources. Yeah, that is the problem. Okay, well, let's just park there. We'll go to extraction. We'll pause this because it uses more fuel that it really needs to. And then we'll go to, so see, this is now where we start. We'll do a volatile extraction. Let's see, so I can add volatile extraction. Okay, now this is actually a net positive process. So let's do our solar array as well, and let's do a couple of surface extraction modules. Okay, so here's the idea. We ship in this one, and we can see it ship. Wow. Okay, I made them faster. Oh, I think I made them slower with the scriptable object, but when I updated it now, it kind of got fast again. Okay, that's fine. So we got the power. Now we can get the extraction. Fantastic. Surface extraction going. Why do I only have one? Did I only make one? Oh, this one's stuck in queue. Oh, because I don't have enough materials. Ah, okay, I see. Understand, I see. Okay, so now a cool thing we can do is we can click on this logistics hub, which is hemorrhaging volatile matter, and we can do an import, add new import. We can say we need volatile matter, at least, let's say 2,500. Okay, I need to not have that happen. And then we do accept amount, and we unpause that import. Right. So that should just work for the import, but this guy, which is now generating volatile matter, we go to logistics, we add an export, and we say, okay, export all your volatile matter, but keep at least, I don't know, 3,000. Okay, so now we have an exporter of volatile matter, we have an importer of volatile matter. Now it's going to take a while before we actually reach 7,000, so what we can do now actually is we can also go to logistics and imports, and we can say, look, we actually need some metallic ore in this place. We need like 2,500, accept amount, make sure it's unpaused. And this one, we can have it export metallic ores, keeping about 500 because it's not really going to process them. And there we go. Wow, those ships are fast. Okay, value cannot be null. That's fantastic. I always love seeing that. Why? Who's null? What is happening here? Add resources. Okay, so this is add resources. Why did it try to add resources with a... I'm assuming a null string. Okay, very interesting. Because I check, I check if it's a freighter with an empty string. That's very strange. Yeah, I specifically check if the string is empty. Oh, it's null. It's not empty. Ah, crying out loud. Okay, so I should also check or freighter.resource null. There's an empty string and a null string are two different things. Okay. I think this is the problem. Let's try that again. I did so much setup. Okay, anyway. Just save all that stuff. Play. Okay, so what I could do also is I could just go to processing and make some structural alloys, for instance. So, because structural alloys, I think it's the first thing that gets depleted. And I can also make, I don't know, let's make some advanced ceramics. Now, you know what? Let's make more structural alloys. We're just going to make this refinery do structural alloys at full tilt. Okay, but anyway, then we can also do a logistics hub here. And we can do an outpost. And we can say this is going to be an extraction outpost primarily. Let's make a processing plus extraction outpost. Okay, then we can do production. We can build a few, not advanced solar because they suck, just normal solar. Oh, let's do 2. Okay, yeah, it's a good thing we are producing some metals because it seems like we're using it very quickly. We should actually also produce a few more surface extractions, and we should produce some volatile matter extractors as well. Okay, so while that's happening, we could probably go to our outpost and be like, okay, cool. Yes, we do want a surface extractor. It's not working because we don't have power, so let's just get a solar array in here. Okay, fantastic. So now we are producing material there while we're consuming stuff. Okay, and now what we can do is we can take Vulcan and tell it to fly over to Jupiter because we're going to have a fuel problem very soon. Okay, while at Jupiter, park yourself in one of these regions where we can mine. So extraction, we're going to stop our surface extractor. And we're going to install volatile matter extractor because then we can get some lacquer fuel. Okay, and then we're going to set Vulcan as a logistics exporter of volatile matter. And it needs to keep around like 3,000 at least. Okay, but it cannot get any metallic ores in this position. So we're gonna want to import some of those. So let's import like 3,000. Okay. So that's good. Now, if we go over here, we can see that we are producing a lot of metallic ore while consuming a lot of the other stuff. So let's say metallic ore, keep at least 2,500 around. Boom. Okay, and then the imports, we need to make sure we've got fuel available, so volatile matter. At least, let's keep it at 5,000, right? Okay. So Vulcan has a surplus of fuel, and our logistics hub here doesn't have a surplus, but it has some, and it's producing some more. Okay, now another thing I want to do now is I want to make Vulcan actually use this. Yeah, okay, so this is a balance problem, right? So as you can see, I'm using so little of my metals to produce. Hey, look, our first 2 shipments of fuel. Look at that! We're sending fuel. I'm assuming we're sending small freighters at this stage. These all seem like small freighters. How many small freighters do we have? We have like 5, right? And look, as soon as they get to the logistics hub, you can see our fuel goes up. Whoop. Only by 100, so these are the small freighters. Yeah, we are consuming fuel at a much higher rate. How many freighters did we make? Oh, 10 small tankers and 5 medium tankers. Oh, okay. That's why there's so many of them. Now look at that one. That is probably a medium freighter, and it's going very slowly. Because it's full, right? It's very full. And the first ones were all light freighters. Okay, very good. Okay, so that works. So there's a definite balance problem here. Fuel seems about right in some ways. But the balance for metal processing isn't very good. Also, so the recipes are basically the problem, right? Let's just open my data quickly and check the recipes for some of the resources. Well, okay, so this is the problem. The recipe for the resources might be okay, right? The issue is the extraction rates for some of the modules is very high. Actually, where do I... Extraction rate. Okay, these are the miners. Where did I do that? Is it in subregions? Oh yeah, it's in subregion. Yeah, look at the extraction rates here. I calculated them. Very high, right? Like, okay, this is for fuel specifically. I was trying to figure out fuel stuff. But okay, if we look at a surface extractor at the Earth moon, it produces 50 metals and 80 ceramics, 0.5 volatile matter, and then 0.1 heavy elements. So the heavy elements is quite slow. But the others are so massively high that we need a sink for them, right? There needs to be some way of using it that quickly. But if you look at the production, so if we go to resources, flippin', let's go structural alloys, right? It only uses 4 metallic ore, 1 heavy element. Now, that doesn't seem bad, like a 4-to-1. So we make 1 with 5 elements, 5 resources in total. So potentially that seems fine. But the issue is, if we look at the production rate, that's not very good. Because I think the production module, let's go and see. The production behavior. How do I know what's... So the production timer... Okay, that's starting. This is the tick. So production timer goes up. Current item production dot build time. Where the hell's the build time? Yeah, I don't remember any of this. Damn. So it's production timer. Oh, that's why I'm so confusing. I should go processing. Because this is a... Yeah, no, we are not... You're processing the materials. Production is building things like modules and stuff. Okay, I know I'm stupid. Okay, so this is what I need to look at. Processing. So we do process resource. Okay, so we go, the timer is 1 times processing rate. And then the flex power ratio, so we don't have enough power, it goes down. Craft time. So there's a resource definition craft time. Wait, I don't remember seeing that in the data. Where's that? Oh, here we go. Ah, okay. Ah, shit. Okay. So we will make 1 every 5 seconds. Yeah, okay. So here we can clearly see the problem. We use 5 resources every 5 seconds, so it's 1 resource a second for draining the resources. Yeah, okay. But if you go to the sub-region and you just look at the how quickly we gain the resources, we are gaining at the moon only 50 resources per second, when we can only really use 1 a second. So that's a definite balance problem. Now, obviously you might have many producers and few miners, but that doesn't feel right entirely. You might want a similar amount, right? And now you could argue that, okay, but I mean, this could be the problem, right? Your heavy elements is very slow. But then again, if you do deep extraction, which is specialized for heavy elements, you get 10 resources per second. Right? That's not so bad. So yeah, I need to look at these numbers and balance them accordingly. And then obviously the recipes and all that stuff needs to be balanced as well. But okay, let's see what's the current status. Okay, so we're still getting shipments in. We have massive amounts of resources. Interestingly, we are not gaining heavy elements, even though we should be gaining 0.1. Oh no, here it says we have 30. Oh, okay. No, I'm just stupid. Oh, that's Vulcan as 0. Okay. Yeah, sorry. Okay, now what we should be able to do is we should be able to do with this logistics hub, export of heavy elements. Say we just don't really care how much we keep, and then Vulcan should get an import, new import of heavy elements. Let's say we want 50. Null reference exception, node buttons, okay. Okay, this is now another problem I have. I'm not sure why. So right now, what it should be doing is it should be evaluating the import and realizing, oh wait, I have 0. Now let's run through this. I need 50 heavy elements. I have none. Okay. So the first thing we should do is we should check in our logistics network that creates a demand. So if we go back here, we should be able to see a new resource demand being created, right? Ideally. Right, we clear it, but we go through all the hubs and we get all the resource demands. How exactly do we do this? So we go by score, 30, 20, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let's go to the hub as well, or the node, and let's see. So we go add new. Okay, so the first thing we do is, I suppose we do an update resource demands, right? Yeah. We give it a key. Update resource demands. So this is a node. I'm just gonna call this node. So we do a logistics update. And something is off here, or here we have the resource demands. Okay. Okay. We check has resource demand. When do we add a demand? Only when we update resource demands. Okay, yeah, but we do the update. Okay, so we do the update, then we check, okay, did a demand occur? Okay, so let's just check. So we check the imports. Okay, we have a desire, a current, an inbound. So in this case, let's say the desired would be 50, current is 0. Right, so we go desired minus 0, and the inbound's also 0. So our desire is effectively our effective shortage. Okay, so our effective shortage is 50. We check if we contain the key. If we don't, we create a new demand. We set the current resource, and we set the score. Okay, so setting the score. Okay, looks like this, where we have a priority. Now, if I'm not mistaken, my priority will just be a 1, right? Yeah, because I don't think the imports... I just set the priority to normal. Oh, it's a priority of 2, actually. Okay, interesting. Okay, so now we need to figure out how urgent this is. Now, so urgency is the demand over the desired stock. I'm assuming my current demand was changed. Yes, to effective shortage. Okay. So this should be a 50, and my desired stock should be a 50. So we go 50 over 50. So this is literally a 1. So urgency float is a 1, essentially. So if it's less than 0.3, it's not that urgent. If it's less than 0.8, it's pretty urgent. So we are already definitely at critical urgency. We have none of this resource. We need some of it. Okay, so we are definitely at critical urgency with a standard priority of normal, which is 2. So that means we're getting a score of 20 for this specific demand. And now, if we analyze this, that means it's definitely critical in terms of demand score. Right? Which means it should be pretty high up on our ranking. And we should be relocating ships if we can. So normally, if the score is less than or equal to 3, we don't relocate ships. But it's clearly 20, so we should be relocating a ship there. It doesn't seem like it's doing that, though. Yeah, like Vulcan isn't getting any more, even though we have like 42. So what is it waiting for? Oh, there goes the ship. Okay, that ship relocated from the logistics hub here back to Vulcan to collect fuel. Okay, so these ones are going back to go get some more fuel. That's what's happening there. Yes. Also seems like we're running out of fuel. Because Vulcan has no more fuel left. Oh yeah, no, we completely deadlocked. Ooh. Yeah, our volatile extraction has stopped because we don't have enough fuel to even make a trip. Okay, I don't know why Vulcan isn't requesting from this hub. This hub clearly knows how much storage or available resources it has. Let's try that again, but let's just see if maybe I was being dumb. Okay, let's tell Vulcan to produce a deep extraction module along with a solar array. Yes. Okay, I have a plan. And it needs to process structural alloys. Build a logistics hub and an outpost and an extraction. Okay. And then we're gonna grab Vulcan and just fly over to Mars. So all I really wanted to do now is deplete all the heavy elements. While this guy over here can get a deep extraction module. And I guess a power module as well. Otherwise, nothing works anyway. Okay, so we're getting a lot of heavy elements now. I guess too many heavy elements. Yeah, no, this rate is ridiculous. We're gonna have one mine in the entire solar system supply everything we need, which is kind of dumb. Okay, let's just pause it there. Okay, so what I want is an export of heavy elements. I don't want to keep any, and I accept. It's not paused. In this one, I want to import heavy elements. I want to keep 100. Okay, now I'm not going to unpause it just yet. I want to kind of use up everything I have. Let's put this one on again. So we can produce a little bit more. And you know what? I'll even go to my game manager and make the game speed 5 times. Just so that Vulcan runs out a little bit faster. Okay, it's going to run out of normal metals. Okay, we stuffed, right? No more metals. Okay, now I go like, whoopsie. Vulcan, please. Logistics. Import some more metals. Unpause. Very interesting. Okay, so we are requesting ships. They are going there. And then they're stuck because there's no fuel. Ah, crying out loud. Okay. Outpost, please stop extracting because you just... I must say the UI is pretty frustrating. Okay, this is actually an interesting bug that I didn't realize I would have. I'll talk about it now. Let's just see if any heavy elements make it to Vulcan. Ah, they do. And fuel is making its way over here. Okay, there were like 20 ships there that needed refueling. That's why the fuel immediately disappeared. Okay. Okay, so that worked. But okay, there was another interesting problem. Okay. So what happened there was all the ships were at Vulcan. There was a request for resources on Vulcan. So Vulcan needed heavy elements, but all the freighters were at Vulcan. So what the game does then, it goes and it analyzes exporters and checks, do we have somebody that can give me this specific material? And it finds one. And then it asks, okay, do you have a ship available to send this stuff to me? And the answer was, no, I don't have a ship available. Then what Vulcan does, it's like, okay, well, I have a ship. Let me send you one over. But now this is where the problem comes in. Because the original answer wasn't actually correct. It did have a ship available. What is this thing? Why is it playing other music now? Hopefully nothing is copyrighted. So there was a ship at the outpost or at that logistics hub. The problem was there wasn't any fuel. And those are two very different problems. Because having a ship but not having fuel doesn't mean you should send more ships over. Because what happens when you send a ship over? The way ships work is they spend all their fuel during transit. So when a new ship arrives, guess what? It's also going to be out of fuel. And it's also just going to sit there in a queue waiting to be refueled. And it kept doing that. It kept sending more ships and more ships and more ships and more ships. So we do need to make sure that we're not just sending ships to a station or a logistics hub where there wasn't fuel anyway, and then you end up with this endless cycle of just having ships docked at a place without any fuel, and then they're all stranded. And once all your ships are stranded, right, you're kind of screwed. So that's an interesting insight right there. Okay, so basically what that means is when we do the relocation ships, so normally what I do is I go to the logistics node and I ask it to give me all the idle ships that are freighter behaviors. And this is the real important bit. Idle ships. And there's two different types of ship. There's a ship that's completely idle, and then there's a ship that's waiting to be refueled. Now, true, only idle ships could technically make the trip. But again, because they have fuel. But it doesn't help if you try to make a trip to a place where you cannot turn around because you don't have any fuel. Okay, so how then do we do this? So we get the idle ships. That's fine. And then essentially we go through and we calculate, which ship would be the best. Yeah, we just get the best freighter and we select it and we do our thing. Okay. So what we could do is we could have all the refuel queue ships selected as well. However, we should only add the queue from our own node. That makes sense. So we obviously add all idle ships in the solar system. I'm just thinking about this. We look at a solar system, we add all the idle ships, so that's fine. But then we look at ourselves. And we add all the ships that are currently sitting at our depot trying to refuel. And then we select a ship. And probably the ship we should select is one of the ships in the queue for refueling. We shouldn't ask for another ship to come here. That's the ideal case. So, okay, so we can do that. We can add all the idle ships for a start. Now let's see how we evaluate these. So we calculate. Now we have the scoring thing we do. Yeah, okay, we have a total score and score components for the idle freighters. So the score components is a relocation time and a fulfillment. Now normally the relocation time hull mass times distance. Now if the distance is 0, that ship's automatically gonna win. So essentially we just need to get the export origin. That's the thing. The export origin. So for each export, I should actually add all the freighters. Okay. So what I should do actually is I should make another list of freighter behavior. And this is going to be idle and waiting to be fueled at exporter. At least when I come back in a week or a month and I read that, I'm going to know exactly what kind of list that is. So I'm gonna go with that. Okay, so now what I can do is the idle, I do an add range, idle freighters, but then I do also add range. Now here's the question: export.exporter, export origin dot ship refuel queue. It hates that. Why? What if I do a to list? Good old to list just to fix all my problems? No. Oh, wait a minute. Ship refuel queue. Dot. I need to do this thing. Yeah, I just needed to get the freighter behaviors because this is a freighter behavior list. Okay, so now I have this idle and waiting to be fueled at exporter ships. And now what I do is instead of just going through idle freighters, I go through this list instead, which is now a fuller list. It's got some more things. Okay, and I go through it, and now I need to check normalize and calculate scores. So this again is going to be that one. Okay. If idle freighters, yeah, we created it there, and then we go down. Okay, this is the only place where I think, hey, we do this, we do this. This is terrible, but anyway. Okay, so we try to remove it from idle freighters and idle and waiting to be fueled at exporter. So our best freighter could be removed from both of those lists. It might not be removed from the idle freighter list because we might have selected a freighter that is actually at the export origin, just waiting to be refueled, right? So that's also possible. Okay, I think this is more reasonable. So now we shouldn't be sending freighters. Yeah, we shouldn't be sending freighters if they're already waiting to be refueled. Okay, but now here's the next thing. If we get an assigned freighter, now we do a relocate idle ship here. Now this shouldn't work. So now we need to do something like if freighter dot ship dot is fueled. If you are not fueled, if is fueled is true, then that's not fuel. That's if it's true, we do this. Otherwise, we just do continue. Okay, so now we don't actually export origin resource exports. An incoming freighter? Oh, we don't actually add an incoming freighter. That's telling it there's a freighter on its way to come and pick up the resource. And then we say relocate idle ship. Yeah, if it found a ship, it would actually just export shipment. It wouldn't actually look for an idle freighter somewhere else. Okay, this might be also a place where I do the same thing. Yeah, so this get best shipments from hub, I think I do the same thing. I use only my idle ships. That's technically not correct. If I could, I should add ships. Now, technically only idle ships can be sent. I don't have any idle ships, so I shouldn't try to send an idle ship. Because I don't have any. But the problem is, it then shouldn't automatically believe that the correct thing to do now is to send a ship from some other place. And I think that's what I've done here. It's not going to try and actually send the ship from another place. This is actually send the ships, right? And if I find a ship that's not fueled, meaning it was in the refuel queue, I just continue, I skip it. So I don't add it to an incoming freighter. That's unfortunate for you. I also don't relocate any idle ships. Because it's not technically an idle ship. It's an unfueled ship. It's waiting at the depot for fuel. Okay, so this should actually fix it already then. So we can try replicating that, I guess. Fuel is less of a problem because normally, the fueling ships bring fuel with them. It's the other ships that don't get to relocate. Okay, so let's just go here, construct logistics hub and an outpost. We'll do extraction, that's fine. We can go sit you over there. And then we'll just fly over there. So we somewhere... Fly over there, why not? Okay, so you... oh wait, no. We need to do... Yeah, we'll just do deep extraction plus solar array. Get one of those. Get one of those, and let's go. Okay, so I'm just gonna let it run out of fuel. Okay, Vulcan over here. Doesn't really matter what I do with Vulcan, to be honest. Okay, so what I want to do is logistics import, add new import. Heavy elements, 500. Well, let's do 200 first. Accept amount. Okay, so we want an import, but we don't have an exporter, so let's just manage an export here. Heavy elements. We'll keep 5, whatever. Okay, seems like it's working. So very importantly, what happened there was Vulcan sent one ship. That ship is now stuck there because, you know, we've spent all our fuel. Okay, now if I make it so that my logistics wants 500, it might send a few more ships because it now is going to select the first one, but then it's like, oh, you need actually a few more. So there's a few more, but it won't continuously send them. So they're all stuck there now. So what we should actually do now is add an export for fuel. Yeah, whatever. Unpause it, and then we import fuel here. Let's say I want 2000. Okay, so now fuel should be transported, and it should... I just want this thing to be deactivated. Let's switch off the power. Why not? Okay. It seems like a very bad way to send the fuel. It selected all the small freighters for some reason. Okay, that seems to work. I'm just not sure why it sent all those small freighters. If you think about it, if you look at our data for our freighters, we have these two, 200 and a 1000 for the tankers. They use some amount of fuel. Okay, let's go and check out my... Oh yeah, no, it is this one. I want to check my... logistics balancing calculations, okay. Okay, so this is kind of where I'm at. Yeah, let's put that next to this one. Okay, so this was the idea, right? We had two hubs that were equally far apart. So let's say we were trying to travel between Earth and Jupiter. So they were 4.2 apart. Okay. Our freighters, now this is where it gets... So our hull mass was 50 and 100. The capacity is 200 and 1,000. And we assume we can fill both of them. And then the fuel use is 50 and 100, right? Now, where I understand this, okay, and how much did we actually need in terms of demand? I think I set it to 2,000, right? Okay, yeah, the scoring, even if it wasn't anything urgent. Let's actually check if maybe it was urgent, if that changes anything. Right, so super critical is 1155, so the fuel multiplier is a 1155. Okay, no, clearly the big freighter is still the winner. Which makes sense because it's slower. Wait a minute. Okay, wait on. Fuel multiplier, fuel spent is a 1. Utilization multiplier is a 1. Time is a 5. Normal fulfillment. Oh, it's a 5. Okay. Yeah, okay, so it's that one plus that one. No. That one plus that one. So it's 6 minus 5. Yeah. Okay. Something fishy going on here. I'm pretty sure the utilization would have come to 100 in either case because we're filling it all the way. And it probably was urgent. This is part of the problem. I don't know which ships are being sent, right? So I guessed that it was sending the wrong ships, but I might be wrong. Maybe it actually sent the right ones. I just couldn't see it. But it is clearly the case that that one has a higher score than that one, so it should have been the big or the medium freighters at the very least. Yeah. A bit buggy. Okay. You know what? I think I'm going to call it there. And then I'll come back tomorrow and do some more of this. But for today, that's good enough. So I basically need to add a way to just debug my logistics a little bit better. So make debugging easier. Should visually or see which ships are being used. Yeah, because currently I just see blue dots and I don't really know which blue dot is which and what is it doing, etc, etc. So we should put a debug mode on so that we can see, okay, that is blue dot number 1, and blue dot number 1 is in fact the ship that I thought it was. Yeah. Okay. That's it then. Thank you guys for popping in. I'll see everybody next time. Cheers.